Welcome to this Zoom interview. And this afternoon, I'm going to be interviewing Di about the difference faith has made in her life. And so, just Di, would you just tell us a little bit about yourself, just how you became a Christian, perhaps how long you've been a Christian, and how long you've been with your current church family?
I've been a Christian for as long as I can remember, really. I was taken to Sunday school, as they did in those days, and it was really through church parades with the guides that I got more involved and became confirmed. So I've sort of been a Christian for a long time. It was when I met Chris, really, that I got more involved with church. We moved to Clanfield 23 years ago and tried all the different churches round about and decided they were all good. So we settled for our local one, which was St James. We were both very happy. I am still happy. My husband died last year.
So Di, you were just mentioning about Chris, and you said that he died last year. Can you just tell us about that period of time last year and what part did faith and the church family play in that?
The last time he went to church was Advent Sunday last year. He was determined to get there, and he said afterwards, he thanked me for taking him because he said it would probably be the last time, and he just wanted to be with his church family. 2 weeks after that, he was admitted to hospital. He was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. They tried for a week to get him stable enough to take chemotherapy, but sadly it didn't work. That middle Sunday that he was in hospital, he insisted that I came back to church for the service to let everybody know what was happening, and had such a lovely welcome, lots of hugs and loves, and it was so nice. The next day we were told, as we expected, that the treatment wasn't working and treatment was withdrawn. That last week, Chris seemed to be at peace. He was happy. He knew it was his time to go, and he certainly wasn't afraid of dying. In fact, towards the end, he couldn't wait to get there. His faith was so deep that he knew that he would go to be with Jesus. And it was such a lovely, calm atmosphere in that room. And everybody that came into the room remarked on the stillness and quiet. And we felt very much that the Lord was with us. I remember one night in particular, we were able to talk to one of the nurses and sort of explain what it all meant to us. And I believe that was Chris's final sort of witness, was the way he had a good death.
Di, in those final days with Chris, are there any particular moments that stand out in your mind?
Yes, one in particular was when there were other people in the room that he sort of whispered to me quietly, I think I've just now understood the meaning of Kairos. It's God's own time, not mine.
Well, thank you so much for sharing those precious moments and the story of Chris and that aura of peace and calm that you've spoken about, and how that actually opened the door to conversations with hospital staff. That's such an encouragement to us all, I think, about the difference things can make. What part did prayer play in that time?
I felt very much, well, we both did, supported by the prayers of all our Christian friends, particularly locally, that we knew that the church was praying for us.
Moving on from that season, earlier this year, coronavirus put us all into lockdown. How was that for you?
Oh, it was a welcome break after all the sorting out. Those who knew Chris knew what his office was like and his loft. Oh dear, it was just so much to sort out. It was a busy time. So when lockdown came along, it was nice. Well, Richard, you had just given we'd had one service with you, and I remember you telling us to go off and be still and know that I'm God, and that's what I was able to do, and meet up with friends as we were allowed to, exploring the local, finding new footpaths, and it was really nice to get to know people in a way that we wouldn't normally do.
And in this sort of strange season, clearly we haven't been able to gather as a church family. So how has that impacted, and how has church sort of life been for you in this lockdown period, or this different time?
Yeah, well, I've had a routine going. I've sort of each night I've written down what my plan for the next day, because I think that's important to keep some sort of routine. And in amongst that, there was listening to the thought for the day, and evening prayer, Zooms, things like that.
In those sort of online type thought for the day, morning or evening prayer type things, have you still managed to encounter the presence of God in those?
Oh, very much, yes. I also read my New Daylight in the morning. And you were speaking in one of your thoughts or talks about spiritual cloisters. And I felt that going to evening prayer was a break between the business of the day and then the evening.
But then, not only was there late last year the loss of Chris, but you've also suffered more shocks as a family. Yes. Are you able to share anything about those and the impact of your faith in those circumstances?
There again, I've been supported by so many friends. I have to say, it's not just church friends, it's other friends as well, and wider family that have helped me in practical ways. But yes, I've just really, God has kept me strong. People have remarked on how strong I've been through all this, but it isn't just me. It's, my strength comes from the Lord.
And if you could sort of sum up this challenging year in kind of a sentence, what words do you think you might use?
I would think of my favourite hymn, which is "Great is Thy Faithfulness," because it just says everything that I've been.
Well, thank you, Di. Thank you for sharing these, what I know are painful emotions and things that underpin at this time, but also your confidence, your strength, your faith in God, and the difference that has made to you over what has been a really difficult year. And thank you also for stepping into the Zoom thing.